Technology is evolving. Relationships still matter. And today, you'll discover why. Please welcome Charlie Haber, founder of Haber Group, in conversation with AI enthusiast and technologist Shoaib Laher.
So, Charlie Haber, CEO and founder of the Haber Group.
That's me.
We need to understand a little bit of how Haber Group came about and how you found yourself getting into IT and tech, even though you're an architect.
Yes. So Haber Group came about part of as the end, kind of the end of my development from architecture. I was an architect. I was trained on early mainframe-based CAD systems. I found myself more interested in the mainframes behind the scenes and getting into things I shouldn't. And then it just led me to my next job where I was a full-time CAD person. From CAD person, went into becoming the CAD specialist, the CAD manager, and from there, the IT manager, which was at the last architectural firm I worked. And then from there, I decided to start doing some consulting on systems and eventually left to form a practice of some sort. And that's how I got into this.
And how long ago was that? How old is Haber Group?
Haber Group was, well, I when I left the last architectural firm I was at, it was 1995. I joined up with some friends to do an IT CAD consulting side of their business. And then in 2000, we decided to go separate ways amicably. And so since 2000, April of 2000, Haber Group was founded.
26 years old.
Exactly.
You must have started this as a teenager.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so you've seen some stuff in 26 years in terms of tech development. You've seen the birth of cloud.
I've seen the birth of internet.
You've seen the birth of internet. You've seen the birth of virtualization. We are now at another tech birth that I think is alongside shifting moments in the history of mankind, up there with the Industrial Revolution. We are
Yes.
in the AI revolution.
Correct. And it is big. It's probably a bigger challenge than any of the other previous challenges because it's changing how we work every day. I'm using my AI tools. I'm not working less. I'm just a lot more efficient getting things done that would take me a lot longer. But what we're starting to see, the AI landscape seems to change every 90 days. So it is less static. And the analogy I use is we're in a car and we're driving across the bridge, but we're still building the bridge in front of us and we have to build it fast enough so that we don't drive off the edge.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. And I think where we're at today is phase one of, okay, everybody is using some sort of AI, or most people are. Most companies have no clue what their staff is using. So our first tier of managed AI services is not going to be developing AI agents for clients yet, or putting them in a specific environment yet. It's kind of what we're calling it internally managed AI tier one governance. I also call that BYOAI, bring your own AI.
Your own AI, yeah.
So what that's kind of referring to is you might decide that you're going to be using Copilot. You might decide you're using Claude or a professional Claude account. If you're in the design industry, you might be using other AI-based rendering and design tools. But the first step is governance, making sure that your staff has an AI acceptable use policy, giving them the tools or documenting what they're doing. Once we document what they do, the next step is to put some rules in place as to what they should and should not be doing and trying to steer them away or govern them away from public AI. And we're putting some tools in place that will allow us to do that.
You mentioned public AI. What is public AI versus
public AI to me is you go on your browser to Google Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, and you just start typing stuff in and you start pasting company information in and getting great information back, but you have no idea where it's going, what models it's being used to train.
Right. Yeah, I can see that being a problem for business.
Yes. Versus, at Haber Group, we have Copilot. We're also working with a Claude team account, which allows team members to work together.
Yeah.
And the governance is changing as well as our clients start to use various AI tools,
Yeah.
we're going to help them interconnect those tools through the standard of MCP.
So if I was a Haber client and I just heard what you say and I go, hang on, Charlie, this sounds like it could be trouble. I think I'll stay away from AI. What would your advice be to me?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. There is no staying away from AI.
But
I mean, unless you're blocking things that you don't want your people to go, they're going to go to the tools and the things that make it easier for them to do their job. I recently met an attorney, and she was saying that we have a acceptable use policy and AI is not permitted. And I go, well, how do you know they're not doing what you don't want to with your information? She goes, because I know they listen to me and they're old. I said, well, I'm older.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to anybody, and I'm going to use the tools that I need to. So,
Eh,
not an
Let's say-
acceptable way of managing that.
Yeah. And is it safe to say, well, I'm going to block every AI tool and stop my colleagues and my employees from using AI? Is it safe to say that approach will put a time limit on how long your business will be along? You'll have
Yes.
to adopt it at some point.
This way. Again, as I said, I'm not the early adopter personally to AI.
Yeah.
But once I jumped in, I'm firing on all guns. And
You see the immediate benefit to the business, or
absolutely, I'm able to accomplish so much more. So what it comes down to is great. You can block AI, you can pretend it doesn't exist, but at some point that's going to ruin your competitive advantage.
and what was that service you mentioned? The AI service you've taken to market, managed AI.
Yes.
That sounds expensive, is it?
No. We're talking about a service that it comes with it's basically two pieces. One of them is, or a few pieces. One of them is there is the surveying, the manual inventory of what's going on before you even tell the user that you're going to block anything. Just gathering of information. Once we do that, we go through and say, what is the appropriate tools for your staff to use? We will also, within your Microsoft 365 tenant, whether you use Copilot or not, we're going to run an AI readiness assessment to make sure that, as an example, you don't want your staff using Copilot to access human resource data that they're not supposed to have. So that's the internal governance. And then lastly, we're starting off with certain tools that will give us the ability to block browsers that are not acceptable and the DLP, or data loss prevention, so that your data is not going to places you don't want it to go.
Sounds like a sensible approach. So
And it's going to be pretty reasonably priced.
So outside of AI, what else do you guys do at Haber Group?
What else we do as Haber Group?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, AI is an extension only because it requires additional products and some additional management and labor to take care of it. In general, we're based upon I'll call it the three tiers of what we do, which some of it is very similar, but we do reactive support, which is our help desk, things that you need help on now, whether it's on site or remote. We do proactive care, which this AI falls partially underneath that, as does all the security products, as does all the maintenance. And then the strategic guidance, which is our business planning. Again, the AI portion of that, the planning portion of it. And those have to do with regularized business reviews and our regular review of your technology, but how it relates to business and what we should be doing this year versus next year and what we're budgeted for, so that our clients don't fall behind.
So you become a one-stop shop for all things tech for small, medium.
We like to manage the entire environment. We do work with our clients in different ways, meaning there's a term co-managed, but in general, there's also more of a co-aligned, maybe it'll be a word.
Yeah.
But some of our clients have internal IT management, but we focus on areas that they don't focus on.
Right.
They might focus on the business critical applications. And if you're an architect, that is your design applications like Revit and all the rendering tools. Other clients, they'll focus internally on their ERP systems and leave the technology and the guidance to us, and we'll work together. Other clients want things like help desks on site in the office. And in those cases, we work with those clients and we kind of direct and manage, and we are the escalation points for their internal IT.
I've heard you talk a lot about something called EOS. Am I getting that right? EOS.
You are getting that right, yes.
Yeah. What is that? And what do you guys do with it?
It sounds very techy, but it's called the Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Is it some sort of AI?
Yeah, it's based on a book called Traction. It's been around 20 something years. And it really, they call it an operating system, which makes all tech companies think it's something interesting and techy. But it's a framework to run your business, and it's a framework to effectively run and grow your business. We've been doing EOS for about 2 to 2.5 years. We attempted it originally on our own, and now we're working with an officially licensed EOS implementer. And it provides structure, and that's really what it comes down to. EOS provides the structure to address problems, because what I've come to learn is having a well-run business is not about not having problems. It's about effectively addressing things as they come up and moving on to the next piece, so that you don't end up addressing the same thing over and over again. And we've made
assuming much like you guys do for your clients' tech problems.
Correct. We don't want to fix the same problems over and over again. We want to see if there's an underlying issue, whether it's software that needs to be upgraded, hardware that needs to change, procedures internally of how our clients operate on the technology. We work with that. We had an architect today call us because they were scared of migrating from an older version of AutoCAD 2020, which is not under support anymore, to a current version. And what we showed them is it's not about using the old software. It's making sure that your office standards and customizations are migrated forward, which we quickly did in half an hour on the phone.
Cool. So outside of AI and Haber Group, what do you do for fun, Charlie?
For fun, I work a lot for fun. I work a lot to fill in the boredom. I love music. I know nothing about sports. That's my weak spot, and my staff makes fun of me over that. I try to avoid politics because that doesn't make anybody happy. And I love music. I will travel anywhere for concerts. I also really like getting things done on my house. I'm in the middle of a couple of renovations because I live in a wooden house built in 1880, which is a continual source of maintenance. So that's maybe what I do for my fun.
Okay. And you've got a dog, right?
I have.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for your time. And we'll look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you, Shoaib. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right.
All right. That is awesome.